I didn't want to miss this event. What a wonderful, spectacular announcement that's being made here today about the investment of the Kavli Foundation in furthering the whole idea of brain research. What I wanted to come today was express my gratitude to the foundation, both to its founder, to its leadership, for what we're embarking on here today. I'll talk about Brain Frontier in a minute. We kind of need it here, you know what I mean? We kind of need it. I got a couple of places. I've got field work for you to do. We'll start. But really, this unique contribution that you're making. We're so proud of the fact that the foundation has chosen Johns Hopkins among 2 other universities to continue to make this $100 million investment to deepen the understanding in the brain and some of the disorders that come out of the dysfunction of the brain. If we focused only on the A words of Alzheimer's and autism, we would make a tremendous impact in the lives of families, the lives of our country, and the lives of our budget. We all know the melancholy problems faced by families, whether it's Alzheimer's or dealing with a child with autism who then matures into adults with no programs, no help, no path forward. And then, of course, the other issues from traumatic brain injury, Parkinson's, ALS. You know them. You could tell me a lot about them, and in many instances that you do. So the brain is really a frontier because it affects families. It affects because families are ultimately the first and often the only caregiver. And it impacts their lives because anyone facing a brain disorder is a lifetime commitment of care. It affects the family budget, and it affects our country. It has a tremendous impact, again, on productivity. Productivity is such a macrometric kind of way of talking, but it doesn't tell the story. But it means that if you're a caregiver and there's just one setback in the morning or overnight, you're not going to work, or you're reducing your hours, or you're changing your life in order to be able to provide that care. It impacts this. And the other is the budget. Speaking again in pragmatic terms, though I think about families, my own father died of the consequences of Alzheimer's, that when you think about the budget and we think about Medicaid, Dr. Rothman, you're so familiar with, because of all of the Medicaid issues facing Johns Hopkins. 80% of the beneficiaries of Medicaid are children. But 80% of the money of Medicaid goes to long-term care because families are unable to cope with the long-term consequences, usually of a brain disease, whether it's the loss of cognitive functioning, the inability to do the activities of daily living, and so on. So if we had a breakthrough in Alzheimer's, either a cure or even a 3-year cognitive stretch out, we could reduce Medicaid expenditures for long-term care by over 50%. Wow. And think about how that could be reinvested. First of all, think what it means to families, their personal life and their personal checkbook. So you can see why I'm so excited about this. And the other thing that I'm excited about is this unique partnership called America. You know, in America, you know, in some countries, government isn't involved at all. In other countries, it's only government. But here, we believe in pluralism, not only of personal thought, religious expression, lifestyle, but we also believe that there are a lot of different ways to accomplish problems. And the role of foundations, the role of the private sector, both profit and nonprofit, working with our government solves problems. So the role of this foundation to leverage the BRAIN initiative started by President Obama just a few years ago is just amazing. So here we are, we have a fabulous foundation connected to a superior organization. I don't know if the Kavli people know, I've nicknamed Hopkins the Genius Club. They'll tell you about it. But they really are fantastic. This is going to be done at the Saul Snyder Department of Neuroscience. So Dr. Snyder, a friend and advisor to me, is preeminent, but the whole institution is. The whole institution is. So here you have Johns Hopkins. You have a great foundation, but you have the role of government, because private philanthropy can never be a substitute for public policy or public initiatives. Our president led the way by saying that we need to be able to focus on the brain, put money in his presidential budget to be able to fund this, and then it came to Congress. Well, coming to Congress is also coming to me. Now, I don't want to be pompous or self-serving. God knows senators never do that. We're known for our modesty, our humility. You'll see that in the brain research you do this on us. But the Appropriations Committee actually puts money in the federal checkbook. We put real money into a real checkbook so it can accomplish real results. Well, I want you to know, on a bipartisan basis, we're supporting this. We are so proud of the fact that we worked together to make sure we had $30 million for the BRAIN initiative initially. But this year, we're going to, if we pass this budget, we are going to be able to fund this at well over $106 million. So we are really engulfed in tripling this. So I want to say here that while we acknowledge all the wonderful work that's been done in the past, we have to fight for today. We have to put the money in the federal checkbook. We have to do it now. And what does that mean? We have to lift the caps. We have caps. We have budget caps. I'm so damn mad about this, and why? Because it caps innovation. It caps innovation. It caps breakthroughs. It caps this America exceptionalism that we hear about. If America is going to be exceptional, it's not how many bombs we drop, but how many breakthroughs we create in science, whether it's in life science, energy science, and so on. So I want to lift the caps. I'm ready to raise the roof. I'm ready to raise them. I'm ready to go at it so that we can have this initiative. Foundations should value add to the efforts. It should not be the only effort. And then we have to stand up for tomorrow. We have to stand up not only for the breakthroughs that this will mean, but I also want to stand up for the young scientist. I want to stand up for that middle school boy or girl right now who's looking at what they want to do or following something or doing a science project in school. We have to make sure we attract young people to the field of science. We have to make sure we have financial underpinnings so the biggest thing that they face is not the research they want to do, but the debt they have to pay off. When a person goes on to higher education, the benefit is not only to them, him or her, but to us as a society. Right now, there are people out there that are going to continue the work that we're talking about today. So we need to stand up for tomorrow and make an investment in our young people, so in college affordability, higher education affordability, make sure that the National Science Foundation and others can give those grants, and when they get them, they don't go into a valley of death because they're standing in line against that, to be able to get their research money. So I want to thank you for just being you. The Marine Corps has a saying, be best at what you're best at and be best at what you're needed for. To be best at what you're best at. Your job is innovation and discovery and breakthrough. The world will be a better place because of this initiative. We are so excited about it, and be best at what you're needed for. Help me lift the caps, help me lift the roof, help me raise hell. Let's fight for today, stand up for tomorrow, forward together, and I can't wait to hear the results of this magnificent work that you're doing. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you so very much. Let me turn now back to